Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna.
Shivani Mataji is not there. I can introduce Upinja. Vanchakalpataru Vishya Kripa Sindhu Bhevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo. Shivani Mataji is not there. Ki Jai Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. All glories to all the assembled devotees. May I know who all are on the call today? This is Preeti Vilasini Devidasi from Atlanta, Georgia.
Hare Krishna, Satori Shishla Prabhupada, Guru Maharajas, and all the assembled Vaishnavas. This is Haridas Varya.
Hare Krishna, Kirtana Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances, Jai Srila Prabhupada. Welcome to the conference call, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandvat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. This is Neetu from Baltimore.
Hare Krishna, Neetu Mataji. Thank you for your consistent attendance. Welcome to the conference call, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga and all the assembled devotees. This is Yashamati Priya Devidasi from Chicago.
Hare Krishna, Yashamati Priya Mataji. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for being there on the call and chanting Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandvat Pranam. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and the assembled devotees. This is Flavia from Atlanta.
Hare Krishna, Flavia Mataji. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for your beautiful association. Hare Krishna. Is there anyone else who would like to introduce themselves before I go to recording? Okay, I will start recording. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Welcome to Bhakti Sangha Japa conference call. Thank you all so much for joining us and giving us your most valuable association. Before we move on to today's session, which is the 18 secrets in Ramayana, and Prabhuji has mentioned it's the final session, the most awaited session. So before we get into that, I'll quickly read Srila Prabhupada's quote for 13 September. As soon as you become God conscious, the demons create disturbance, just like Jesus Christ. He was crucified by the demons. The only fault was that he was God conscious. Just see, such innocent person. This was spoken by His Grace, His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada in Los Angeles, September 13, 1972. Thank you, dear devotees, for joining us and giving us your valuable association. Today is our final session of the 18 Secrets in Ramayana by His Grace Haridas Varya Prabhu. Prabhuji, you can now take over the call.
Thank you so much, Preeti Vilasini Mataji. Dandvat Pranam, my humble obeisances unto you and unto all the Vaishnavas and senior Vaishnavis and everyone who are assembled in the call today. If you have made it till now, I think you've done a great job in terms of sitting through all the 14 sessions where we have discussed about the 18 secrets of Ramayana. In fact, in the last session, we have completed the 18th secret. However, I would like to keep this as the final session because one, it's good to revise quickly the 18 secrets, but it is also good to know how our Gaudiya Acharyas have very, very benevolently and with Lord of Mercy have sprinkled these 18 secrets which were revealed to Ramanujacharya in the Sri Sampradaya, but they have given it in our daily life. Specifically, I would like to dedicate this session to one, my parents who have taught me these tenets of all the 18 secrets. Secondly, I would like to dedicate this to His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, who has been instrumental in putting these tenets to practice. One is to know knowledge, the other is to live them. So today we're going to see how Srila Prabhupada has molded all our lives and has made it in a very easy capsule for us to really bring this in our life. So that's what the session today will be. It's a glorification for Srila Prabhupada, and it's a glorification of how he has made it easy for all of us. So it's very apt that before we glorify him, we seek his blessings, because from him we get all the mercy to glorify him and all the Acharya Parampara that have stood the test of time and have given us so many scriptures, a sea of scriptures where every verse is so beautiful that it will take us lifetimes and lifetimes to relish even a drop of that ocean. So we would like to pay our gratitude through Mangalacharan. So please join me in offering our humble pranams, humble gratitude, at the same time, a very ardent prayer in our heart to beg for mercy from the Acharyas so that we understand the beautiful tenets of these scriptures. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Utapada Kamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Zagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Zavadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha. He Krishna Karuna Sindho Deenabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Vacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namam Vishnupadaya Krishna Prashtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin iti namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Kujantam Rama Rameti Maduram Maduraksharam Aruhya Shakham Vande Valmiki Kokilam. So there's a very beautiful verse where we say Kujantam Rama Rameti, that there is a beautiful nightingale or there is a kokila bird who is constantly chirping the names of Lord Ramchandra. Kujantam means singing or glorifying. So this bird, kokila, or this kokila bird or this nightingale is constantly sweetly pronouncing the words and it's singing a song. What's the song that it is singing? Madhuram Pujantam Rama Rameti Rama Rameti, in the name of Lord Ramchandra. This Lord Rama's name, it's constantly uttering these names very beautifully. Aruhya Shakham Vande, but it is perched on a branch. What is this branch? This branch is the branch of the tree of Vedas. And the branch is Itihasa. And the branch is Ramayana. So, perched on the branch of Ramayana, this kokila bird, who is none other than Valmiki, is beautifully narrating the pastimes of the sweet Lord, Lord Ramchandra. Pujantam Rama Rameti Madhuram Madhuraksharam Aruhya Shakham Mande Valmiki Kokilam. Who is that beautiful kokila bird? None other than Valmiki. So, first and foremost, as we complete these 18 secrets, we all know we have to pay our gratitude to many people. It's a common theme that when we finalize a subject matter in Vedic science, or when we receive knowledge through the books written by the acharyas, or we hear the spiritual knowledge, our heart should be automatically filled with gratitude. What is the gratitude that we should feel? The gratitude should be, number one, that such great science was always hidden to us. We never knew about the science in our many millions of lifetimes. And this was revealed to us due to time and by the personality who have educated it to us. In this case, Ramanujacharya, Sri Shaila Purna, Govindaraja, the commentators, Valmiki, and many others. They have given it to us. So we should have gratitude that we have received something, we have taken a shower, and we have completely drenched ourselves in the nectarian translations, in the nectarian commentaries of the Acharyas. This itself is a beautiful science, and this itself is a pot of nectar. Spiritual pleasure means it's nectar, and every sip of that nectar is Kevala Ananda Kanda. It is sweet. It is so sweet that one cannot say that I have had enough. And specifically, the pastimes of the Lord, the beautiful inner meanings of the shlokas, if somebody is interested to really take their axe and hammer and the pickaxe and really delve into the deep of the pages of Shastra, they will find the most beautiful jewels. These jewels are so resplendent in their meanings of Lord Krishna or Lord Ramchandra's pastimes that one can keep relishing them. And they are rightfully called as jewels. Why? Because when we see these jewels, they are not of a particular shape. For example, if we take a diamond, it has many, many cuts. And when the light passes through these many surfaces of the diamond, it shines in various different ways. And it gives us various different colors. Similarly, if the verse is a diamond, the Acharya's commentary is the light. And the beautiful meanings that we get out of this diamond are the relishments that we get. Imagine such relishments of so many diamonds strung together in 24,000 verses is none other than Ramayana. Out of those, we are talking about the top 18 top diamonds or rubies or emeralds or jades that we have to put together in that necklace. And that is given to us by Valmiki. So we should have a lot of gratitude in our heart. So when such a session is coming to an end, I would like to pay my humble obeisances unto Valmiki, unto Ramanujacharya, and to Sri Shaila Purna, who have been instrumental in giving us this knowledge. Of course, without the commentaries of Govindaraja, Maheshwara Tirtha, and many others, we will never be able to understand these deep secrets which have been given to us. The second natural quality is that when we get these secrets, we should give it to others. A Vaishnava is one who is not a miser. And who else we can take inspiration from other than Srila Prabhupada, who at the elderly age traveled all the way from Sri Radha Damodar Temple in Vrindavan to the Boston Harbor. What was his intent? To distribute this literature. Where was he seated? He was seated in Radha Damodar Temple in Vrindavan. Why Radha Damodar out of all the temples? Because it was the seat of Shastric studies. In fact, Radha Damodar had one of the biggest libraries where all such literature of Jiva Goswami was available. And Jiva Goswami's presence was there. And hence, it became more interesting that Srila Prabhupada, at his elderly age, who wanted to spend his time in Shastras, spent a lot of time in Radha Damodar. But what was his intent? His intent was to spread this message far and wide to the Western world. While he was content in writing the meanings of Bhagavad Gita, the translations and the purports of Bhagavad Gita, he also wanted to showcase it and release it to a wider audience by traveling all the way to Boston. under the instruction of his spiritual master, His Holiness Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj. This is a Vaishnava. Once he reads the Shastra, he relishes the Shastra, and he enjoys the nectar of the Shastra, and enjoys the pastimes of the Lord, enjoys the inner meanings. He can't contain it within his heart. It is very natural that he has to pour it out. Why? Why he has to pour it out? Because unless you pour it out to all the others, your heart will be not filled up again. And when you pour it out, you seem that there is a vacancy. But immediately when you pour that nectar out to many others, that heart, that void is filled up again with more beautiful nectar. Now, one might think that if there is a pot of nectar and you want more, so you'll have to spill it out. And fresh nectar has to be poured inside. But actually, these verses are not like that. These verses and these Shastras, when you spill it out, the nectar which is within the pot itself manifests more and fills it up to the brim. What does that mean? That means that the one verse, if you put it in a pot, that itself is nectar. It has filled it up to the brim. Now you have spilled it to others, explained it to others. Now there is a void. Actually, there is no void. It is still there. But even if there is a void, a new meaning out of that verse emerges and it fills the pot. So one verse is enough. It's summum bonum of everything. It's complete. Purnamadaha purnamidam purnat purnamaduchyate purnasya purnamadaya purnameva avashishyate. How many parts you take out from the whole, every part is a whole in itself, and what is left is also purnam. And in this way, we see that the Shastric studies, the Shastric verses are also complete in all respects. So, first is gratitude. Second is we should teach it to others. And Srila Prabhupada actually showcased this beautifully. So, it becomes very imperative that we specifically see these 18 secrets very quickly. And we see how in our Gaudiya Acharya's parampara, how Srila Prabhupada actually has given these in our daily life. Sometimes we feel that these 18 secrets that we are talking about, these are so difficult. It might take a lifetime to achieve these 18 secrets. But Srila Prabhupada has been so instrumental that he has ensured that every single day, if we live our life as per how Srila Prabhupada has actually requested in ISKCON movement, and how he has requested his followers, his disciples, and many, many generations to come who are followers of Srila Prabhupada, if they just follow his instructions, all these 18 secrets are something that they live on a day-to-day basis. How? Let us just try to compare. Before that, it's very important that we remember the 18 secrets. So it is right in front of you. You will be able to see it. I'll put it in full screen. So we saw that these are the 18 different secrets of Ramayana. What did we see? We saw that these 18 secrets are divided into 6 each. You will see that there are the first 6 which are in blue, the second 6 which are in amber or orange in color, and the last 6 which are in green in color. So there is a connection between all of these. So if anyone is attending this last session and they have not attended any of the 18 sessions, even this session is itself useful to go through all the 18. So let's just visit through some of these that what we have learned. So the first 6 was called as the prerequisites of surrender. Now, in this we saw the essence of all Vedas. What is our book by which we look at all these 18 is none other than Ramayana. So in Ramayana, we saw various examples for each one of those secrets. Of course, in the summary study, we are not going to go back to those secrets because these are the classes in itself. However, we are going to just talk about this essence. First was Vidya Sarvapi, that any person interested in Krishna consciousness wants to enter into Krishna consciousness, then he has to understand the Vedas, or he has to understand the essence of all Vedas. The Vedas have many branches. At the same time, it has many shakhas: Nirukta, astrology, Jyotisha, uh, Kala, time, etc. There are many, many different shakhas. And each one of them have its presence, or each one of them is very instrumental in learning our Shastras. So, if one reads Ramayana, there are many instances where all these Vedas are being mentioned. So, one has to be Vidya Sarvapi. He has to be very adept in learning about the Vedas, and he has to show interest. But when he shows interest, he will find that there are many irregular explanations that he will hear. That's when Bahya Tyajanam. One has to be careful to accept what is favorable, and one has to reject what is unfavorable. And while he is accepting everything favorable, he moves to the next secret, which is Akhila Sadharma. He or she has started rejecting the unfavorable activities, and he or she has accepted the favorable activities which will lead to essence of good dharma, which is truthfulness, honesty, kindness, compassion. All these good qualities start emerging in the heart because one follows dharma in a very nice way. And while dharma is followed, one takes further interest and tries to learn the spiritual meanings and definitions. And then they will slowly try to learn the five truths: the Paramartha, the Swarupa, the Upaya, the goal, etc., what we spoke about. So, these where to achieve, whom to achieve, how to achieve, by what to achieve, all these questions will be answered as he or she continues in this process. But this is all okay. This is all talking about the path that we have to take. But what is the destination? The supreme goal is Raghupati Paratvam. Lord Ramchandra is the supreme goal. So one understands these six blue colored six secrets. Then one understands that now I am ready. I have got the prerequisites of surrender or Sharanagati. We also learned that Ramayana is none other than Sharanagati Shastra. And that is where we navigate to the seventh secret, where we saw that the Sharanagati secret is mentioned in every single page of Ramayana. It is mentioned in every single kanda of Ramayana. And it is there in the beginning. It is again there in the beginning. It is there in the prelude. It is there in the first chapter. It is there in the middle. It is there in the end. And when it is being re-emphasized, it is there as well. So, in fact, if a subject matter is spoken again and again and it is repetitive in a book, you should understand that that topic is very important. So, while we speak about Sharanagati, we saw all the different kind of Sharanagatis which were applicable in every single kanda. Be it the first Sharanagati of the demigods going and praying to Lord Vishnu, and while they were going, they were not going to the Vaikuntha. They were praying right at the Putra Kameshti when the Lord appeared. Or be it Vishwamitra's Sharanagati, or be it Bharata's Sharanagati, or be it Kakasura's Sharanagati, or Vibhishana's Sharanagati, or the many others that we saw as we went through. We saw all the different Sharanagatis which were fruitful. At the same time, we also saw that some of the Sharanagatis which were not fruitful, like Parashurama or the Sharanagati of Lord Ramchandra to the ocean god, these were not fruitful. So we saw that once a Jiva Atma actually follows these six surrenders, six processes or six secrets, then one is eligible to surrender. One is very clearly eligible to surrender, and this enables the person to follow these principles and follow in the footsteps to surrender. So, surrendering unto the Lord is very easy, and that is being showcased by Lord Ramchandra. That he says, if somebody just comes to me and says, "Oh Lord Rama, I am yours," and then he accepts them. He's ready to leave everybody else, but he wants to protect his devotee. And that once Sharanagati becomes Pumartha, it becomes the ultimate aim of man. And he would like to achieve Sheshatvam, which is means service to the Lord. He would like to be dependent upon the Lord. But while the Lord is reciprocating with him, he soon understands that Tad Avadihi, that means his ultimate benefit is when he becomes the servant of the servant of the servant. And he believes that while serving under the servant of the servant of the servant, and he develops that mood, he or she develops the mood, he understands that there is no other refuge other than the Lord, Agatit Tattva. So this becomes the ways of surrender. This becomes how to surrender. Or once these six prerequisites have been achieved, the ones in orange or amber tells us how to surrender. But what happens afterwards? I have surrendered now. How should be my life? And that talks about the post Sharanagati, or the life of a person, how he or she should live after taking surrender. He should disengage from worldly affections, considering that he has surrendered his life. When he does that on a constant basis, then he or she gets the beautiful vision of the spiritual master, the spiritual master whom he accepted during this process of surrender. He starts observing the disciple and starts to shower his mercy upon the disciple. And when the spiritual master is extremely merciful, the blessings of Srimati Radharani or Mother Sita is also coming through, which is a very, very important parameter for the Lord to be merciful unto us. And when the blessings have been achieved by none other than the spiritual master and Mother Sita, then we do not need to worry about anything. We can be completely fearless and completely be dependent upon the Lord. And if we need to feel this constant presence of dependence, we need to stay in his house. We need to stay in his dham, which is Suvasati. And while staying, we should constantly expect to receive the mercy one day. So, like this, we see the 18 secrets of first 6, how to get into the game of surrender, how to surrender, and finally, after surrender, how to live one's life. Let us take a stop here and let us just reflect. Isn't this the entire lifetime of a Vaishnava? Isn't this the life cycle of a Vaishnava? A Vaishnava tells us very beautifully how to enter into Krishna consciousness. A Vaishnava enters into Krishna consciousness and surrenders unto the Lord and showcases by his life how to live life. And now, this is where I would like to now do a comparative study of how Srila Prabhupada has ensured each one of this has been ingrained within us. So for that, we have to go to his books, which is none other than Chaitanya Charitamrita. We are Gaudiya Vaishnavas. We have spoken Ramayana quite a lot. And in the Vani source, it's very beautifully mentioned when there is a comparison. There are some comparisons of the Chaitanya Charitamrita 1975 with 1996. There are small changes, but then largely in the forward, it caught my eye that Srila Prabhupada mentions this. He says there is no difference between the teachings of Lord Chaitanya presented here and the teachings of Lord Krishna in Bhagavad Gita. So there can be comparative studies between scriptures. This gave me a lot of hope when I read about this. There is no difference between teachings of Lord Chaitanya presented here and teachings of Lord Krishna. That means that Chaitanya is very much in line with the teachings of Bhagavad Gita. The teachings of Lord Chaitanya are practical demonstrations of Lord Krishna's teachings. Lord Krishna's ultimate instruction in the Bhagavad Gita is that everyone should surrender unto him. So there is Chaitanya Charitamrita, the highest epitome of how we will get pure love of Godhead. In that forward, in the first two lines, it means wherever the compare versions is mentioned here, I read this specifically in the forward, that Lord Krishna's ultimate instruction is to surrender, is to do Sharanagati. And Lord Krishna promises immediately to take charge of such a surrendered soul. So where the Sri Sampradaya leaves, that's where the Lord Chaitanya picks it up and takes you to a higher goal of Pumartha, which is absolute love of Godhead. And this is very beautiful for us to understand and assimilate. And here is when Srila Prabhupada mentions that how this surrender happens, that how he takes care of his pure devotee. It says that a pure devotee is a soul who is forever surrendered unto the Lord. So it's not a practical process, but he's surrendered. Just as a child is surrendered to his parents or an animal to its master. So it's very natural that a child is always surrendered to the parents. And hence, in that similar way, that Srila Prabhupada says, there is a process to it. What is the process? We all know that process. Accept anukulasya sankalpa, pratikulasya varjanam. Accept things favorable for discharging devotional service. Reject things which are unfavorable. Always believe in Lord's protection. Feel exclusively dependent on the mercy of the Lord. Have no separate interest from the Lord. And always feel oneself meek and humble. Now, we all know this beautiful verse of this 6 items of surrender. If we look at this 6 items, 6 limbs of surrender, we will get to know the beautiful verse that we are supposed to mention. Anukulasya sankalpa pratikulasya varjanam. Right? So that particular verse, when you read it again and again, you come to know that which is there in the Hari Bhakti Vilas also. This is what I was looking at, 11.6.76. If you do a simple search, it gives us the beautiful verse, Anukulasya Sankalpa Pratikulasya Varjanam Rakshishyati Vishwaso Gopatritve Varnam Tata Atmanikshepa Karpanye Shadvida Sharanagataha. Shadvidaha. These are the 6 types of Sharanagati. Now, if you actually look at the 1 and 2, it largely talks about the first 6 and the second 6 secrets that we studied. The rest 4 of them, faith that God will surely protect me. That means Krishna will surely protect me. Maintain an attitude of gratitude towards Krishna. To see everything we possess as belonging to Krishna. To give up the pride of having surrendered. All these other 4 that we learn that Srila Prabhupada mentions in his foreword is none other than how a devotee lives after surrender, which is the last 6. In fact, there can be shades of this in the other 12 as well. But if you actually see, accept things favorable for discharging devotional service. Now, I will go back to the slide. You have to tell me which one of these are matching. It's like match the following. So accept things which are favorable for devotional service. Anukulasya sankalpa. So now look at the 18 secrets that we learned and tell me which of these secrets will fall under this particular instruction, Anukulasya sankalpa. Anybody? You have to now match the following. This is a classical match the following which you used to do. Anukulasya sankalpa. Whatever is favorable, we have to accept. Anybody?
Like the first 6, if I see like Lord Rama, the supreme goal, we have to accept.
Okay.
Is favorable for our Krishna Bhakti. Then we also have to accept the 5. Means the prerequisites of surrender actually falls under the category of acceptance.
Exactly. If you look at it, largely the whole 6 falls, these are all favorable. Of course, Bhakya Tyajanam is directly the next instruction, which is Pratikulasya Varjanam. Whatever is not favorable, remove. Similarly, in 13 also you do Pratikulasya Varjanam, that you remove whatever worldly affections which is not helping us. So there is the first six, which is very clearly, and even some of these, right, become servant and servant of the Lord, which is very favorable, and the Lord gets very quickly pleased. These are also, these two are following the principles anukulasya sankalpa pratikulasya varjanam. Now, if we actually look at the next two, which is always believe firmly in the Lord's protection. Now it will be more easier for us to find out. Tell me which one is the one where always be dependent on Lord's protection. It's right there.
Paratantriyam.
Eleventh
Paratantriyam.
and 12th.
Paratantriyam 10.
And 12th.
12th.
Agatitvam.
Agaditvam, no refuge other than
Agatitvam.
Lord.
Yes, yes.
And in the green, anything?
16, Prabhu.
Absolutely, yes. 16.
Yeah.
10, 12, and 16. And yes, 16. Perfect. These three also speak about that how we are completely dependent upon the Lord to protect us. Very good. Now let's look at the other one. What did Prabhupada say? Feel exclusively dependent on the mercy of the Lord now. Again, mercy of the Lord flows through either the servants, Paratantriyam,
17.
15.
17, yes, very good.
14, Prabhu. Guru Drik.
Yes, mercy of the Lord you get through his devotees. So, servant of the Lord, ultimate aim of man is to also get the mercy of the Lord.
And
You
Shri,
can
Shri Sahyam.
blessings of the Lord through Sri. You will see that, of course, it can be. You will feel that it's one particular secret or one particular tenet which will fit all, but you can see that somewhere or the other, these are the main tenets and these are non-different. Have no interest separate from the interest of the Lord. That is very clear. Disengagement from other worldly affections, and keep expecting that I have nothing else than the interest of the Lord. The 18, Tadhyaita, that one has to have no interest separate from the interest of the Lord, and always feel meek and humble. Where is this coming?
11.
11, very nice.
10th. Dependent on the Lord.
Exactly. We are completely dependent. And 9, servant of the Lord.
16 also.
16, yes, dependence, humble and meek, yes. In fact, in the entire green ones, the mood which is behind all the last 6 is the prerequisite is to be humble and meek. Because if you remember, Srila Prabhupada's first initial line was that pride has to go away. Just like a child to a parent, just like a pet to a master. Humble and meek gets the whole world. And in this case, the mercy of the Lord is attracted by the help of these beautiful tenets. But what more interesting is, and that is what I would like to showcase here, is when you look at this is fine from a philosophical point of view, one might say, Prabhuji, I can understand in one scripture this is mentioned, and you have tried to match it with the 18 secrets what Ramanujacharya did. But can you tell me, can we live this 18 secrets? Can we live this 6 tenets of surrender? How can we live this? And for that, one has to very carefully look at Srila Prabhupada's 7 purposes of ISKCON. And this is so beautiful, and we would like to go through it one by one. And I was quite amazed by the kind of similarities that one can draw from these. And I would like to showcase that in front of your eyes. Just give me a minute. Okay. Can you see the... Wait, can you see... Wait a second. Pause. I'll reshare it. Okay. Now you should be able to see the 7 purposes of ISKCON, isn't it?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes. But I will share it once more so that everybody can see. Okay. Now you should be able to see. So here we see to systematically, and I was quite amazed when I went through these 7 purposes of ISKCON and I was trying to match through the secrets. The first one that we had was Vidya Sarvapi. Now, essence of all Vedas. Now, here it says to systematically propagate spiritual knowledge. What is spiritual knowledge? Spiritual knowledge is the essence of all Vedas that he is trying to give it to all the living entities. So, first one is Vidya Sarvapi. All systematically propagate all spiritual knowledge. To whom? To society at large. And to educate all people in the techniques of spiritual life. Isn't this what we learned as the Vidya Sarvapi and Bahya Tyajanam? Teaching people that this is the essence of all Vedas, this is the essence of everything, is what Srila Prabhupada has given as the first tenet or the first purpose of ISKCON. And by which, what will they get to know? They will get to know, I am somewhere in Krishna consciousness, I am somewhere not in Krishna consciousness. So that means they will have an imbalance. And that's what Srila Prabhupada wants to showcase in order to check the imbalance of values in life. And when they do that, Akhila Saddharma, they get all the beautiful qualities of Dharma, real unity and peace. So in the first one single purpose itself of Srila Prabhupada, he has hit the first 3 secrets. Right? And now, if we look at the next 3, which we have, which is Adhyatma Arthaha, Artha Panchakam, and Raghupati Paratvam. Second, he says Adhyatma Arthaha, to propagate a consciousness of Krishna, who is God, as it is revealed in great scriptures. Look at the second one, Adhyatma Arthaha. That means if the real meanings of the scriptures have to be known, then this has to be propagated, this has to be taught, this has to be learned, and as given in Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, the 2 beautiful books. So, propagating Krishna consciousness, Adhyatma Arthaha, that is covered here. But then, Prabhuji, along with that, how do we get to know the Artha Panchakam, the 5 esoteric truths? You will get to know the 5 esoteric truths when you know and mingle with people and when you see other people following these 5 truths. And that is why the third purpose is to bring the members of the society together with each other and nearer to Krishna, the prime entity, thus developing the idea within the members. How beautiful are these words? We can only glorify Srila Prabhupada that these 7 should be also meditated, that how beautiful it is. Thus, developing the idea within the members and humanity at large. So he's not only keeping it only for devotees, he's saying all others as well, that each soul is part and parcel of the quality of Godhead. Paramartha Swarupa, Swaswarupa, who is the Lord, who is the living entity, what is the purpose, what is the goal. All this comes together when we are mingling with the devotees of the Lord, and the 5 esoteric truths are achieved. And the 5 esoteric truths teach us Raghupati Paratvam, that none other than Lord, Supreme Lord, is the supreme goal of life. So when they all come together, which is mentioned in the third purpose of ISKCON, the fourth says, we teach and encourage them the Sankirtana movement of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, which is the ultimate goal. So while Raghupati Paratvam says in Ramayana is the ultimate goal, Srila Prabhupada made it much more simpler, which Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave it to us and said, chanting of the holy name is the highest teaching, and that is given by Mahaprabhu. So within the first 4 itself, he covered the first 6 secrets. But what about Sharanagati, which is the 7th secret, which is called as Prapatti, Sharanagati, Pumartaha, what is the ultimate aim of man? Servant of the Lord, dependent upon the Lord, servant of the servant, and no refuge other than the Lord. All this can be seen again in these 7. So once Sharanagati, that means we have to go to the Lord and we have to fall at his lotus feet. Or while calling out the holy names, we have to say, Lord, I am yours. So there has to be a good ambience, good place where we are able to execute this nicely. And that is why he says to erect for the members of the society at large a holy place of transcendental pastimes dedicated to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So when we engage, when we chant, we naturally develop these prerequisites of surrender. Now we want to go and surrender. The temples are the spiritual oasis that Srila Prabhupada has created across the world, where we can go before the Lord and say, Radha Madan Mohan, I am yours. Shri Shri Radha Partha Sarathi, I am yours. Sri Rukmini Dwarakadish, I am yours. If you are in London, Sri Radha Londoneshwara, I am yours. If you are in Dallas, Radha Kalachandji, I am yours. It doesn't matter where the place is, because every single place we have very beautiful temples. And in those beautiful temples, we have Srila Prabhupada has erected these transcendental oases where we can go and fall at the lotus feet of the Lord. And we can practically learn the art of surrender, the ultimate aim of man, which is the congregational chanting and also holy name of the Lord. And then we have to do service, how we have to become the servant of the Lord, how we have to become the dependent upon the Lord, and how we have to become servant of the servant. Then in these temples, we have the servants and we become servants of the servants and we serve. And that is what the sixth one talks about. To bring the members closer together for this purpose. This purpose, he says, which purpose? All the purposes that we are talking about, to bring the members closer and learn this beautiful art of serving each other and living in a simple, natural way of life. That means following our deep interest of serving the servant. And while we are doing that, we have no other refuge other than the Lord and the devotees. And we have to constantly learn these scriptures. So none of these are pedestals. This is a spiral. These 7 are like a spiral. Once you finish, it keeps coming. And once you are in this 7, this will enable you to go back home, back to Godhead. So while we are being servant of the servant and having the humble and meek attitude, by again reading the scriptures, we understand what to disown, which is the last 6 that we are talking about. Viraktihi. We disown a lot of activities. We see the members of the society that they are more nearer to Krishna and I am farther away from Krishna. So I will like to leave all these things and go towards Krishna. How can I go towards Krishna? Oh, come for Mangalarati, sing for Mangalarati, do Guru Ashtaka. And when you start your morning prayers with Samsara Dhava, you are getting Guru Drik. The first vision in front of the Lord is the spiritual vision of the spiritual master. And that Vande Guru Shri Charanar Vindam, we all have this practical experience that the most beautiful time is when we stand in Mangalarti and sing that first song, or Vibhavari Shesha Aloka Pravesha. Before that, we sing Samsara Dava. So this Samsara Dava is the Guru Drik. And then we stand before Srimati Radharani. And that is why, if you see in the entire pastime, in the entire shlokas of Guru Ashtaka, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu comes immediately in the second verse. And in the fourth verse, in the fifth verse, we have Srimati Radharani's mention that he is very, very close to Srimati Radharani. The blessings of Sri are also mentioned there in the Guru Ashtaka. So blessings of Sri is there, bringing the members closer together to teach them the purpose and to be away. Virakti is there, Guru Drik is there. Then what happens? Be fearless. Be fearless. And that is number 7. With a view of towards achieving the aforementioned purposes. So top 6 talks about so many. Publish and distribute periodicals, magazines, books, and other writings. Tell to others that be fearless. Just read these books. Just read the books of Srila Prabhupada. And how will you get that strong conviction? Srila Prabhupada has mentioned in his books time and time again that Dham Vas has got its own benefit. Srila Prabhupada has made these transcendental dhams, and specifically he has given us these 3 dhams, none other than Jagannath Puri. He has given us the dham. He has opened up the dham of Sri Vrindavan Dham and the Audharya Dham of none other than Mayapur, Navdeep Dham. So these dhams, he has ensured that each one of us can go and stay. In fact, he has opened up these Kartik festivals and Mayapur festivals that we, each one of us, can aspire one day to stay there and participate. Suvasatihi. And while living in that way, we can constantly tadhyayita. We can constantly think about how we can achieve the supreme goal, Prema Pumarto Mahan, which is the transcendental loving service of Godhead. So these might be 18 secrets which are mentioned in the Ramayana, but how great is Srila Prabhupada? He has just made it so practical that if anybody just gets up in the morning, sings Guru Puja, follows four regulative principles. These four regulative principles are also Virakti, he clearly says, or these are those in the second secret that stay away from those things which are Bahya Tyajanam, which is not good for learning and not good for surrender. The four regulative principles: constant chanting of the holy name, worshipping Tulsi, offering bhoga and honoring them as prasad, meeting with devotees, constant reading of Srimad Bhagavatam, chanting regularly 16 rounds, staying in a dham. These practical aspects are none other than the 18 secrets that Ramanujacharya has mentioned about. And these are none other than living those 18 secrets. So, if we understand the 18 secrets, or if we don't understand the 18 secrets, just by following the regulative principles and guidelines given by Srila Prabhupada on a daily basis, we are somehow or the other following the age-old principles which was mentioned to Ramanujacharya by Sri Shaila Purna. Now, many might feel there is a philosophical disconnect, etc., but it's principle. The principle is there. Srila Prabhupada has given everything in his books. And that is why if you talk to disciples of Srila Prabhupada, they will say there is nothing beyond Srila Prabhupada's book. In the seed form, it is there. And even as a tree, it is there. Even as the branches, it is there. Even the fruits are there. Even the further seeds are there. Even the juice is there. Even the roots are there. And every part of this particular tree is sweet. Why? Because it's growing and attaching itself to the lotus feet of all the Vaishnavas, and it is attaching itself to the lotus feet of Lord Ramchandra. It is attaching to the lotus feet to the Golok Dham. It is attaching to the lotus feet of Srimati Radharani, which is the highest goal. That we have to be rendering ourselves in the mood of service unto the divine couple. And what great opportunity we have that during the week of Radhashtami, we come to a close while talking about this scripture, while talking about these 18 secrets. So we should have only gratitude, more gratitude, an unlimited amount of gratitude towards every single word written by Srila Prabhupada, to Srila Prabhupada to make this beautiful movement called as the Krishna conscious movement, to Prabhupada for giving us these 7 purposes of ISKCON, whereby attaching with these 7 purposes. In fact, we should all have the 7 purposes of ISKCON constantly in front of our eyes. We should frame these 7 purposes of ISKCON. A very senior disciple of His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj, his name is Vaishnavangri Das. He's very instrumental in translating many, many beautiful books of Srila Prabhupada in Telugu language. He stays in ISKCON Navi Mumbai, Kharghar. And he's very, very revered to me. And whenever I go to his house, I find that a great frame is right in front of his house. And that frame does not have a Radha Krishna photo. It does not have a Guru Maharaj's photo. It does not have a Srila Prabhupada's photo. Of course, those photos are there in his house. What it has is the 7 purposes of ISKCON. And I was wondering, why is these 7 purposes of ISKCON actually framed and kept? Generally, people have photos of Radha and Krishna. Generally, people have this. And he mentioned that this is everything. If one is going forward in Krishna consciousness, one will understand that these 7 purposes has everything. Nam, Roop, Guna, Leela, everything is there in these 7 purposes that Srila Prabhupada has kindly given to us. So let there be all auspiciousness. Let there be all beautiful auspiciousness to all those living entities who get in touch with the great movement of Srila Prabhupada. This is the golden age of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, where we learn all these scriptures. We read them very scrutinizingly, only to learn that what we have been given in our Gaudiya Parampara is something the greatest. It's the most sweetest fruit from the tallest branch of the tallest tree amongst the forest of scriptures, which is none other than Srimad Bhagavatam. And of course, the relishment is there in Srimad Ramayana. But let us not forget our roots and gratitude to Srila Prabhupada. Let there be all auspiciousness to everyone who have heard these 18 secrets, who have revised them. My only urge is that all glories go to Srila Prabhupada and my divine spiritual master and all the assembled Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis. All glories go to them because they have been instrumental in giving me time, their patience, and they have been tolerating all the mistakes. So none of those glories come to me. It is all to the Acharyas. And thank you each and every one for the support. Let there be all auspiciousness and Mangala to all of you who have been hearing this. Mangalam Kosalendraya Magniya Gunaptane Chakravarti Tanujnaya Sarvagomaya Mangalam Srimate Raghuviraya Sedulla Disindabe Dharashra Rajaya Ranadhiraya Mangalam Asadhyam Navren Divyam Abhishaktaya Sithayam Raja Rama Bhadraya Mangalam Ramaya Ramabhadraya Ramachandraya Vedase Raghunathaya Nathaya Sitaya Pate Namaha Sarva Ishta Nivarakam Shubhakaram Pinglashamapakam Sita Anveshna Tatparam Kavivaram Kodinda Surya Prabham Lanka Deepa Payankaram Sagalapam Sugriva Sammanidam Devendadi Samasta Devanidam Kagastutam Vache Gyataka Sri Ramadutaka Pamanattanubhavaha Pingla Hashikavan Sita Shoka Pahari Dashamuka Vijay Lakshmana Prananatha Anedam Vejajadrehe Lavana Jalnidehe Dankane Dishadoryo Yakabiraha Sriman Hanuman Mama Manasi Vasankari Siddham Tanotu Manojabam Marutu Tulya Vegam Jitendriyam Badimam Varishtam Vadatmacham Vanarayuda Mukyam Sri Ramadutam Sirsanamami Buddhir Balam Yashodhairyam Durbayaktam Marogada Ajatyam Vakpadatnam Jashi Hanumat Swarnat Bhavet. Finally, I would like to offer my gratitude to one personality, one divine personality, who is none other than Lord Hanuman. Whenever there is a Ramayana being spoken, it is mentioned that in some form or the other, he constantly sits and listens. And if somebody is speaking about Ramayana, he gives the spiritual power, the encouragement, and like a very wonderful parent, he showers his mercy. So it is my humble obeisances unto Hanuman, where he might be listening to some of these discourses, because it's said that wherever the discourses are there, even if there are tritiyan, there is something wrong, he would be definitely hearing and blessing all the people who are hearing Ramayana. So my humble obeisances unto this great personality, Lord Hanuman, who got this beautiful boon that as long as there will be hills and mountains and seas, the glories of Ramayana will be spoken. But our Acharya said, no, it should be the other way around. As long as Ramayana is being spoken, there will be the hills, the mountains, and the seas. And as long as such beautiful audience of Bhakti Sangha Japa group are there, I think Krishna Katha will keep flowing and keep flowing and keep flowing. Thank you very, very much for giving me an opportunity to speak and present the subject matter. As I said, there would be many mistakes. Those mistakes are truly mine. When you are Panditas, please correct them. And if there are any glories, they go to my spiritual master and all the Acharyas, and of course, Srila Prabhupada for giving us the 7 purposes of ISKCON and also giving us this beautiful Shastra through the principles which are written in his books. Jai Srila Prabhupada. Yadatra skalitam kinchit vidvam satpureyantu dat. Yadatra saushtubam kinchit tad gurur eva me nahi. Thank you very, very much. If there are any questions, comments, critiques, feedbacks, more than happy to talk about them. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu. This was a very, very beautiful, relishable ending for the series. Thank you for that beautiful glorification of Srila Prabhupada, the purposes of ISKCON, and the entire class. It was very beautifully connected and concluded. Thank you. We'll open the forum for questions. We have Parima Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
What a wonderful class, Prabhuji.
Hare
I
Krishna.
mean, to even hear this is a very good fortune, and you have bestowed this good fortune on all of us. So I'm really in debt to you, Prabhuji. And I have this, and how you connected the entire teachings of Sri Sampradaya with our parampara, and how everything ultimately converges to Krishna Bhakti. I mean, that was the icing on the cake, Prabhuji. And I have one very, very important question, and please forgive me for asking that question.
Yes.
And that question is very, very important, that when is the next series starting?
I think.
Sorry, Prabhuji.
Thank you
You
so
can
much,
take a
Mataji.
break, but please.
Definitely, in a week of break, we will start the new session. As we said, that because Karthik is approaching, we discussed quite a lot about Lord Ramchandra. We have to discuss about Krishna as well. So we will come up with a short topic for the next 2-3 weeks. It will not be a full blown series of 12-15 lectures. It will be a short topic about Krishna consciousness, speaking especially about Krishna, because Karthik is coming, and there will be a topic which will be told to you very soon.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Prabhu, no
Yes.
break, Prabhu.
That's good. So we'll consider no break as well. Thank you, Mataji, for all the encouragement, and thank you for the kind words. Hare
And
Krishna.
Prabhuji, please, we don't mind a long series. Just, I mean, from our side, we don't mind. So,
Thank
yes. So
Thank
please,
you.
thank you so much, Prabhuji. Unlimited
Thank you.
Danvat
Hare
pranams
Krishna.
to you, and
All
your,
glories to
thank you
Sri
so
Prabhu.
much for your wonderful association. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji.
Mataji, from December, we'll have a very long series for 6 to 8 months. Don't worry.
Definitely.
Which one, Mataji?
That's a surprise. For that, you have to stay with the shorter series. Any other question? I think Dhanashri Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
As usual, you have done an excellent job of collecting all these pearls from Chaitanya Charitamrita and the Ramayan's 18 secrets. But I always feel that the Lord is such a durlabhya vastu, no? He's like such an enigma. And at the same time, he's so easily reachable. Yet when we have attached or rather surrendered to him with all our body, mind and speech, he just becomes, he just puts us into that cycle of karma and lets us learn from there. He himself stays nirmuktam, like always free. And yet we are bound with so many of our, bound to Maya, basically. And he stays aspashtam, dushtamatri, like, unclear and unseen. And yet we are groping to search for him. Why does he make us so, dance from one place to another, staying so complicated? That's what I feel many a times.
Yeah. Yes. So the Lord has these beautiful qualities that he exhibits. He's Vedeshu Durlabham Madhurlabham Atma Bhakto. He's very difficult to even understand, even if one reads the beautiful purports and translations of all the Vedic sciences. He's still unreachable, unconquerable. However, the same Lord is conquered in the heart of the devotees, Atma Bhakto. He's very beautifully displaying himself in the heart of the devotees. Mama Mana Mandire. In the temple of the heart, he gives constant darshan. But when do we get such a darshan? When do we get to serve him like this? When we have held very nicely the lotus feet of acharyas, of spiritual master, and of people like His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. By their mercy, we understand that these qualities of the Lord, which are very, very difficult and rare to achieve, is very easily given to each one of us. For example, there is a beautiful story where a fisherman once casted a net in the river to catch a lot of fishes. And most of the fishes, they got caught. But always there was one fish which never used to get caught when the fisherman cast a net. So all the remaining survivor fishes went and asked this fish, "What's the secret? Every time so many of our wonderful family members get caught in the net and they lose their life. And this fisherman is very adept in catching fishes, but you escape every single time. How is it possible?" He said, "The answer is very simple." He said, "Whenever he casts a net, I swim and take shelter under his own feet. Then how will the fish be caught? How will the net catch me?" So the only way is to surrender unto the same personality who is casting the net and making us get into trouble. So similarly, falling unto the lotus feet of Guru, falling unto the lotus feet of the servant of the Lord, will make us very easily transcend this net of Maya and will make us understand that Krishna, who is unreachable, Lord Ramchandra, who is ununderstandable, and it's total bewilderment if we try to understand him, still he is easily understood. It's a paradox which is unveiled if we take
Yes,
the
Prabhuji.
shelter of devotee.
Absolutely. I mean, that sums up that, what is that word? Avigyatitam. No, what was that? The 12th one?
The 12th one?
Yeah.
The 12th is agatitvatvam, no refuge other
So
than
when
God.
you're no other refuge other than the Lord, and at the same time you're also dealing with
Yes.
virakti, getting
Right.
detached from.
Yeah.
So we have to really start from the first secret again.
Yes. Just by following the 7 purposes of ISKCON, visiting an ISKCON temple, reading Prabhupada's books, this is easily achieved. That's
Yeah,
what
but
I
at the
want to
same
discuss.
time, like visiting the dham, where
Yes.
is visiting the dham, every time you are in close proximity to the Lord, you always feel you are on a holiday retreat.
True. And that is the beauty that he has created this dham through all the temples of ISKCON. So dham,
Exactly.
we think that is Dwarka, which is Mathura, but then our local temples, which are next to our house, our ISKCON temples are not different from dham because all these tenets are being taught there. So
Yes,
this is
Prabhuji.
very easy. Ramanujacharya had to walk 18 times, more than 18 times to Tirupati. He had to go to the dham and learn. But this is being offered to us in every single ISKCON temple by Bhagavatam classes, by Mangalaratis, by devotee association. We just
It's on
should
a
have,
platter.
yeah, and we should just have an open outlook.
Yes, yes, Prabhuji. Thank you
Bad,
so much, Prabhuji.
thank you, Mataji. Bad things will come our way, but then we have to neglect it and be attached to the trunk, which is, in principle, we know these things do exist. Let's be like a honeybee, choosing the best and leaving the bad.
Yeah, like I was about to tell you, leaving the bad, you can't keep us, in suspense of not telling us the surprise. So you have to tell us what is the next lecture.
Yes, definitely, Mataji. I'm just discussing those with the host, and I will very shortly. It will be announced with a
And
question.
you're always welcome. Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you
Thank you,
so much.
Mataji. Thank you for your questions. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Dandavats.
Intends to say, all glories to Haridas Varya, Prabhu.
All glories to Prabhupada. Thank you so much for the kind words.
Very nice presentation. And really, you have summarized the entire secrets of Ramayana by drawing parallels to Prabhupada's 7 purposes of ISKCON and, of course, our 6 limbs of Sharanagati. Very nice, Prabhu. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you. Hare Krishna. I think no more questions. So back to you, Prithvilas Mataji.
Thank you, Prabhu. So we are still taking inputs about December. So far, there is one topic that has scored the highest marks. I mean, highest votes, not marks.
Which is Which
Yeah,
is
which is a very long topic. Very long. So
not.
send
Please.
in your recommendations and we will see which
Okay.
one is the winner. Okay.
Sure.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you.
वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्यश्च
कृपासिन्धुभ्यश्च
पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। अनंतकोटि वैष्णव वृंद की
वृंद
जय,
की जय।
की जय।
जय
HG हरिदास वर्य प्रभु की
की
जय।
जय
जय।
श्री
हरे
प्रभुपाद।
कृष्ण प्रभु जी,
हरे
Hare
all
Krishna
glory to your
Prabhuji.
service.
Thank
हरे
you so
कृष्णा।
much.
Dandavat
Thank you.
pranam,
Thank
all
you,
glory.
Prabhuji. Thank you so much.